Hi guys, welcome back. As I mentioned more often on my channel, I think that hiking and backpacking with your dog is one of the most greatest things to do. It is so satisfying and it's really a quality time between both of you. But there definitely are some responsibilities and realities that you have to keep in mind when you're deciding to do that. And in this video, I'm going to talk a little bit more about that subject. First of all, I would like to say that this is my personal opinion about this subject. You might agree with it, you might not agree with it, you might do things totally different because they were better for you, and that is totally fine. It is just, like I said, my point of view, and maybe that's helpful to someone to make sure realization about what it is about backpacking and hiking with your dog. What does it have in store? What does it mean? So it depends on you, agree with it or not agree on it, but just my personal opinion. One of the things is that you are out with someone who has no expectations and does not complain. And that can be really cool because if you are hiking with another person, the chance of somewhere at one point that there are going to be struggles is kind of big. You might differ in thoughts about distance, speed, brakes, stuff like that. Your dog does not do that. And I think that's really a positive thing because you are not alone, you are together. So you have something on hand, you have somebody to take care for, but it is all about how you would like to do it. And your dog's not complaining, your dog doesn't have any expectations, they just want to have that quality time together with you. And that is a realization that you must have, and it is a good one, but makes you responsible for your dog. And I think if you are a good dog owner, that is something that's common to you, that is not something that you think about, it is just there, but it is a reality that you have to keep in mind. And I think it's a beautiful one, but it can be daunting for some people as well, because you have to make decisions for both. You have to make decisions for yourself, you have to make decisions for your dog. So it is a responsibility for you, but your dog will be very thankful for it. When you have your dog with you out on the trail, you are not alone, but still you are. And that's a little bit on the fact that you are not alone in regards to, for example, company, because you have your dog with you, you can talk to your dog, have some fun with your dog, spend time together, cuddle, stuff like that. But on the other hand, you're still alone. If you are ending up in an emergency situation, your dog is not going to press the button on your SOS device. You have to do that by yourself. So that's very important to keep in mind. And also when you are preparing, that you have those things in mind, that if things go wrong, do you have a backup plan? Because not alone, but yet still. And although it is absolutely awesome to have your dog with you out on the trail, yeah, you see me smiling, I just love that. They are still animals and you have to keep that in mind. They do have instincts, for example. If you are not keeping your dog on the leash, your responsibility, but be aware that they do have instincts. If you have a hunting dog, they will hunt wild animals, and that's something that you do not want to happen. So although they are animals, they do have an instinct, and you have to be aware of that one. Also, when you are in a tent, for example, your dog will react to sounds that he hears around the tent, especially when tent camping is new for your dog. So that instinct is always there. So be aware if you're taking your dog with you and know the instinct points of your dog. So for example, that hunting, and when your dog is not staying with you when he or she is off leash because of that instinct, you have to take your responsibilities in that one. And in my opinion, the trail is not the place for socialization. You see it a lot on the trail. People having their dog off leash and they let their dog run towards your dog. Oh, he only wants to play. Yeah, but my dog maybe doesn't. And I think that it is very important that you learn your dog that being on the trail is working. It is relaxation for both of you, and it doesn't have to be forced in many ways. But I think it is important to have your dog know that sort of a difference, that when you are on a dog playground, of course, he can run around, play around with other dogs. But when you're out on the trail, it is important that you can control your dog. And it is not something or not a place that you can use to have your dog used to other dogs, have your dog used to people petting them. If people ask Ravi if they can, if they ask me if they can pet Ravi, mostly I say no, because I think it is important that Ravi stays with his attention to me and that we are together, we are working together as a team. And it does not bring anything when every few hundred meters, because some people, especially German people, seem to find little dogs like Ravi super cute and adorable. So they all want to say something to him, and a lot of them want to pet them. But I don't think that is a good option. And that might be controversial to some of you. I think this is the point where most of you, if you disagree, will be on this one. I do not let Ravi play with other dogs as well out on the trail. When we are at camp at night and there is another dog and Ravi goes well with that dog, no problem at all. They can play around, they can have fun. But when we are out on the trail, I am not letting him. And that's also a little bit of a point of safety. Hello. That's also a bit of safety because a lot of people say, oh, my dog doesn't do anything. But at the end, it turns out that they do. And I do not want to be in a situation that I let Ravi play with another dog. That dog isn't that friendly and I'm ending up with an injured dog, and the nearest vet is about I don't know how many miles away, and I do not have the car nearby and I am not able to drive to that vet. Then I am having the problem because probably that other dog owner is long gone already and I'm stuck on the trail with an injured dog, and that is something I absolutely want to avoid. So contact between dogs is something that I would rather be very limited out on the trail. And like I said, on campsites I'm fine with it when I'm absolutely sure that Ravi goes along with the dog and the dog really is friendly, then I'm totally fine with it. But this is just a bit of safety, and it is not that I do not allow people to make contact with Ravi. I'm absolutely fine with it. When we are sitting on a terrace or having a break and somebody's passing by, I'm fine. It's not that I restrict Ravi to every kind of contact that he could have out on a trail. Definitely not. But I do make choices in what I do allow and what I do not allow. And the next point is something that might be a little hard for some people, and that is you have to adjust whether you want to or not. If you are hiking or backpacking just on your own without any dog, you can do whatever you want. You can change the mileage per day, you can change the route per day, whatever you would like to want. But if you have a dog with you, you have to adjust to your dog. And as long as you keep it good and steady for your dog and not over ask your dog, there won't be any problems. But if you come to a point that, for example, it turns out that the weather is way warmer than you expected, or that it was forecasted, or the terrain is much harder than you thought it would be, then it would be easy for you to continue. But when you have a dog with you, and especially a small one, you have to adjust your day to it. You have to stop when it is too warm. When your day seems out to be too long, you have to stop as well. And that has consequences for the following days when you are out there for a longer period. So that is something that you really have to keep in mind. And that is a responsibility that you have to take, because your dog can't. Your dog only can give you signs that it is too much, that he or she cannot handle it anymore. And it is your job to make sure that you can read those signs. I mentioned that in a video earlier, that it's very important to learn your dog's body language. And when you see that it is enough for your dog is struggling and your dog can't handle it anymore, then it is up to you, your responsibility, to stop. So those are just some realities and responsibilities that you have to be aware of. It is one big joy to be out there together, but it asks some adjustment, especially from you as a dog owner, because I think you want to be responsible. At least I am. And I like hiking and backpacking and I love to do it, and I know Ravi does, but I want to keep it that way and I do not want to over ask him. And okay, sometimes it gets a little bit too warm, but then we just simply slow down, and if we do not make it to the end of the trail, then let's search for the nearest bus or train station, or call your taxi back home if you have one on hand. For example, my mom is usually my backup. And if we are a little bit farther away from home, I always make sure that I have that escape possibilities. For example, in September, Ravi and I are having a really intense, I think our most challenging backpacking trip coming up that we ever did. So in regards to terrain, especially distances, not that much, but distance combined with a fully loaded backpack could cause some problems, both for me and for Ravi. And Ravi obviously is not wearing that backpack, but the terrain is going to be really challenging. And I made sure that my trail has the possibilities to every about 4 or 5 kilometers has the possibility to leave that trail and go to the nearest train station, and the train station will bring me back to a nearest city nearby where we can pick up or continue our travels by public transportation, or just take a hotel for that night and go back the day later to see if it works out then. So those are all things that you have to keep in mind, and you have to take your responsibilities. For example, make sure that you always have the phone number of the nearest vet nearby. And if you are preparing in that kind of way, I think you will will be fine, but it's something to keep in mind because a lot of people think very simple about that. They say, oh yeah, well, I take my dog backpacking, but I see it very often on YouTube videos, Facebook posts, but even here in real life, that when it is way too hot, people are totally over asking their dog. And well, it might not cause any problems when you are doing a 5-minute walk around your house, but when you are out on the trail for a longer time, it really is a very important thing to keep in mind. And your dog is a living creature, and your dog has his personal needs and thoughts and things that she likes. So those are all things that are your responsibility to really be aware of. And I think that you have to adjust your expectations to that one. And if you do that, then it won't be a problem at all, and then you definitely will have the best time out there. If your dog likes it, that's something, a responsibility that you have to keep in mind as well. If you are training your dog to go out with you on the trail and you're noticing that your dog does not like it, stop it. Not every dog is a true outdoor dog. Not every dog loves to be out on the trail. Max, for example, as well, she loves day hikes. She's fine with that, up to around 10, 12. That's the limit now when she's getting older kilometers, then she is fine. But I do not have to take her on a multiple day hike or stay with her in the tent for several nights because she does not care about it. She does not like it, and she's going to start barking at things and she's going to react to everything. So it's my responsibility to then say, okay, I do not take her out on the trail. I do that with Ravi. It's our thing, and I make sure that I have a dog sitter for Max so she has a good time when she's staying at home. I know that my mom is spoiling her when she has Max, so I'm not worried about that one. But that's a responsibility that I took as well, and that's up to you as well. So be a little bit aware of that, and make some serious thoughts about that when you decide to take your dog out on the trail. If you do not make your expectations too high and you are taking care of your responsibilities, then you're absolutely going to be fine. If you have any questions in regards to this subject, feel free to ask. You can ask it in the comment box below. You can send us an email. And if this video was in any form informative or helpful to you, or just liked it, give us a like, subscribe to the channel and notify the alarm bell. And then, as always, enjoy the outdoors. We will catch you on the next trail. Goodbye.